day, every evening. And I wanted to talk to him about my writing. I don't know whether he remembers this. He'll probably say I'm lying. Anyway, but I told him I was trying to be a writer. He told me two things that were very, very key. He said, you want to write, first thing is you got to write every day. If you're a writer, you're not trying to be a writer, you're a writer. And writers write every day. The second thing he said to me, which was made me know he was really kind of out there, was he said, try this. Go 3-4 days and don't talk. Say as little as you have to in answering a question or asking. He said, don't talk. And after 3 or 4 days, you sit down at the typewriter. All the stuff that you heard over those 3 or 4 days will come out of you. That's the reaching. You know, you just, things you didn't know that you heard just come out. And I found that to be true as the years went by, you know.
I wanted to say with Ted that I had the opportunity to sit at the feet of Harold Cruz when he was writing Crisis of the Negro Intellectual.
Right.
And I remember one of the things that he used to tell us at those meetings we used to meet with him once a week was that every generation must document its time.
That's right.
Very important. So that you're going to make mistakes, but you make them on a higher level. Should not repeat the mistakes made by the preceding generation. And I think what Ted was for the movement time, he was the documenter. He was the one who was Amiri and the brothers were doing the creative stuff. Ted was documenting.
Right.
Well, you know that
he was covering them and documenting.
Cruz taught at the Black Arts, didn't he?
That's right.
Okay.
Excuse me?
That's right.
Yeah, and the FBI had 2 agents in there.
Donald Duncan and
Some
who's the other
woman,
one?
woman. We got the pictures. We circulated the pictures, but two agents. We distributed pictures everywhere, but no, because you're naive if you think that you're gonna do something like that, and you know. And I told my son Raz when he went to Cuba, I said they're not coming for you, they're with you.
Right.
See, they're not coming to get you. They're already with you. You understand?
You got somebody on the trip.
That's right. No, they might have went you from the beginning. See,
They bought your ticket.
Yeah. But another thing is this. Remember, for black people, when I came back here in 1957, man, literature was very white. What they told us. I mean, I had joined a little united front with the Beats, San Francisco, them to put down academic literature where they wanted you to write English literature, you know, iambic pentameter and that kind of stuff. But the question of, when we say we wanted to write that historically and culturally as Afro-American, people would come up to me and say, well, Mr. Jones, I didn't know you were a Negro. They said, damn, I didn't need an enema or something. But I mean, that kind of, and when I first started publishing, agent told me, you cannot write in Afro-American slang. I said, that ain't slang, it's a language.
Yeah.
No, but I mean that's the 50s, but that's where that was, you see. And then stuff started happening that made us Africa.
Right.
King, Malcolm, Africa. You know, remember they killed Lumumba?
Yeah.
I met Larry Neal,
Yeah.
Askia. That's when Maya Angelou, people don't know Maya Angelou was an actress. She was working with Nkrumah. We came out here with Dr. King. You know, so people were active. It was not just a passive literary set. You know. So for us, the Black Arts meant that we could speak, that the things we wanted to say, we could say. You know, and that was very important.
The Black Arts was a was an activist movement also. It wasn't just artists. As Larry Neal said to me, you know, like in Paris on the left bank, the artists live over here, that's their little section, or in London, it's Soho or wherever. But it was about bringing the art into the community, that the artists had to live in the community, because there was a political struggle going on, and you could not separate the two. That's what brought them uptown, because it was happening. And one time I heard Mary said, they out in front of us. And the artists are supposed to be leading the struggle. But the struggle was already in motion, so they ran to catch up. And they were good. He was.
Well, the people always advance. The point is that the most sensitive artists pick up what the people are doing. But it's the popular movement that is the dynamic of any kind of real art.
Right.
You know? And that's why the art has been flat since that, because the movement itself became more passive. You see, they locked up some Negroes, they killed some Negroes, and they bought some. They bought some, whatever it was. They killed some, they bought some.
And they jailed others.
They jailed others, some still in there. So when the movement,
do you think that the movement, I mean, when I'm talking about the civil rights movement, because I got the impression during that time, the only leader that I heard talk about cultural affairs was Brother Malcolm. I mean, you practically never heard any of the other organizations deal on talk about culture or the arts.
No.
Do you think that the movement ever really recognized or appreciated the role of the arts people to the movement?
I think that that period, 65 through 70s, that was the most active relationship between art and activism. And
The SNCC. SNCC. The brothers and sisters from SNCC were much more progressive and I think much more conscious.
but they was down in the South.
Well, there was some up here.
Yeah.
I was talking about
See, the
maybe like
problem was those
the
were two